Welcome to the first session of the People's Parliament, a platform where Ugandans meet and debate and share ideas on topical issues that affect them. Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of the People's Parliament, presides. Madam Speaker, I propose that we discuss the topic, is government responsible for the finding of employment for youth?
All in favor, aye, and to the contrary, no? Aye. I observe it. I'm sure you are aware that Uganda's unemployment rate is among the highest in the world, with 32% of the youth out of jobs. So we are discussing. First, let me have honorable member on this side.
Good afternoon, honorable members. I'm Ochero Dick, honorable member from Chambogo University. As honorable speaker said, that is the government responsible for the unemployment in this country? For me, I say that it's yes. For instance, we see countries like Libya, when Gaddafi was still there. The government was the one putting a lot of effort to see that the youth, when they have reached now the working age, before you start studying, the government is responsible for your education. After you finish school, when there is a job for you. But you find that in our country, Uganda, a youth is studying, but he doesn't know the future, where it leads. That's why someone wrote a certain book, said that after university, what next? We know that most of us who are still in university, at campus, we are affected. We study in our first year, our mindset is still around campus. Second year, we start now thinking of the outside world. You come to third year, when you are now about to leave, that's when you start now, your mind is outside this, saying that, what am I going to do? When the government doesn't have anything, any plan or any package for you. It's the government to come down, to sit down, then they say that, what are we going to do for the future generation? They always think that, okay, youth, you are the future generation, you are the future generation, you are the future leaders. Which leaders? When others, they want to die on
So
power.
what do you think government should do?
The government should take an action plan, because we have so many organizations in this country where you find that this organization, they come with their expert rate. Why do they come with their expert rate when we have youth here, when we have people who are educated, they know what to do? Let this organization, these investors come in the country, when they're going to invest in the country, use the people who are here in this country to work in those organizations. You find that in an organization, for instance, full of only white people in the country. What's it when they say that they want to come and invest in the country? Why can't they use the local people?
Okay, thank you, honorable member. Your time is out.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. Honorable member, what do you think is government's role in job creation?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sentongo Chamundu. Straight to the topic. They asked, is the government responsible for looking for the jobs of the youths? Yes, according to Chapter 4 of the Constitution, employment is a right. And according to the 1995 Constitution and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of 1946, rights should be protected by respective governments world over. Uganda's government is not isolated in that case. So they must look for jobs for the unemployed in their respective countries. According to Uganda Bureau of Statistics, stands at 84%. 84%, my simple mathematics.
But honorable member, don't you think that as you look on government provide jobs for you people, don't you have a role as an individual to ensure that you get a job after university?
I should say we have tried. All people in this country have tried. Take, for instance, in Kampala here, people have started themselves businesses in kiosks. I can give an example of a student.
Isn't that a good venture?
Let me come to that. I think I can give an example of a youth in Kampala, a youth whose parents sold a plot of land to see him to Makerere, finishes, there are no jobs in Uganda, sells another plot, he buys a kiosk.
Okay, thank you, honorable member. One thing we have to understand is really government is responsible for getting jobs for Ugandans. But what should an individual do? What is the role of an individual to ensure that after university, he or she has a job. May I have honorable member on the podium? Your time is out.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Kaija Harad. What individuals do, because we have responsibilities as citizens, and then the government has responsibility. My responsibility is prepare myself, get the skills. When I go to class, read and read hard, get the grades. Now when I'm finished, I'm on display. So I'm only waiting for government to do his part. That is what an individual does. Like their responsibility over individuals. We pay taxes. When we pay taxes, we expect some services. It worked over. There was a time in the US when Bill Clinton was campaigning. His campaign slogan was job, job, jobs. Kind of why the Democrats are becoming a phenomenon, becoming strong in the US is they are talking about the middle class. Employment is the role of government. Government can't do it directly or indirectly. Government can put up parastatals. Government can engage in, can support investments. That is directly. Indirectly, you create an environment. I've heard the NRM government talking about environment. Which environment? The environment that they talk about, I think, not even having gunshots. By the environment they should create, put up policies. The other day in the papers, we saw an advert where a company was advertising a job in Uganda and saying that those who should apply should be foreigners. Yes. That can never happen in a serious country.
So what should government do about that?
Well, thank you so much. Our constitution says government should provide jobs for its citizens. So it should be upon us, the citizens, to ask our government why it's not doing what it is supposed to do. The constitution goes ahead to say that our members of parliament shall enact laws that shall help the citizens of this country to access employment.
Have you unfortunately put them on pressure to laws are enacted?
Yes, and that is why we are here today. So our members of parliament should do that, and we should keep demanding for that. And there are very many of us who had started businesses. Unfortunately, the government, through the KCCA, through the executive director, has put down our businesses. So that one has made us to be unemployed.
Thank you.
And secondly, we hear the government giving out money. For example, 44.5 billion was given under the disguise of the Youth Capital Venture Fund. But we do not know who received that money. So we call upon our government to give us accountability. Where did that money go? Who received the money? Because it doesn't make sense for the government to tell us that they are releasing funds of which we do not access the funds.
I don't know. Is the youth taking the wrong subjects while they are still at university? What do you think government should do? Because this country, these companies that one honorable member talked about bringing expatriates from outside the country, it's because we don't have the experts in the country. So what do you think government should do? Can I have another honorable member taking the podium?
My minister, we have three.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and other honorable members, House at large. Honorable Natongo Colin Carroll. Towards the question you're asking, I think we are expatriates, because when you're joining Makerere University, these are the things we do. You don't go just into the university and you just pick a subject. You pick a subject according to what you really want to do. Because right now, even if the companies we want to join and we want to work with, the first thing they do to ask you, what did you study? At the correspondence, you give out what you studied, and they even don't have it in that company. But they according to the newspaper, they put everything there. This is what we want. This is ABCD. When you go there, they don't even have it.
So what do you think government should do in this?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. What I want the government to do, the government has to make sure, okay, me what I'm saying, in my perception, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Because every year, there are those people that are, their students coming out of the campus, coming out of the institutions, they're coming out. But they come, sit on streets, there is nothing to do. In any case, when you find you have indulged yourself in something to do, Like now, there are those people, because my one honorable said here, there are those people who start up businesses here. Right now, all containers are not allowed. All kiosks are not allowed in the city. Nothing is allowed here. Now, if you tend that you want to start up a business, where are you going to put it?
Point of information, use the other microphone, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm going to use her line. The government has failed. Let's say it's only in Uganda where I did history in high school. And when I go to campus, it doesn't apply anywhere in my course. I'm going to give an example. I want this government at high school. Let them go back, bring out talents. We don't have people who cite out talents in young people. Let's give an example of Kiprotich. If someone knew that Kiprotich would win a gold in Olympics, and they trained him at a ground level, where would Kiprotich be?
Thank you, Honourable Member, for setting the pace. Let's go for a short break, and when we return, we are going to discuss, are the youth studying the wrong courses at secondary and university level? If so, what should government do? Welcome back. This is People's Parliament sitting here at Royal Suits Bugolobi. And the topic today is government responsible for providing jobs for the youth? If they are responsible, where have they failed? Where have they gone wrong? But when we left, there was a very interesting information that a honourable member gave. Are the youth studying the wrong courses? What's the problem?
Madam Speaker, unemployment is defined by the International Labour Organization to occur in a situation whereby someone actively goes to look for a job and they don't find a job in 4 weeks. So I would guarantee that many of us, many of Ugandans have been faced with a problem of unemployment. The question at hand is, are the youth doing the right courses?
Yes.
I remember I was favored to go through the best schools in Uganda. And I passed my O-level, and at A-level I wanted to
You're a product of universal primary education and universal secondary education?
A product of universal primary and universal secondary.
You thank government for that?
Yeah, government has done, and I'm going to the point. But the thing is, while I got to A-level, I wanted to become a lawyer, and the only available combination was HLD, History, Economics, Literature, and Divinity, which I did and scored highly with 25 points and was admitted at Makerere University School of Law. After my 4 years at School of Law, I cannot be relevant anywhere. There's another requirement of me going to LDC, Law Development Center. If I break that continuity in education, I will not be employed anywhere. But for how long will our relevance be in the education system? Because I think our education system is purely theoretical. There is no applicable skills in our education system. And basically, what accounts for the high levels of unemployment? Structural, economical, and frictional. The process within which after school and how you access the jobs that are available. Government has basically embedded on 2 policies. That's the National Employment Policy and the National Youth Livelihood Policy. But how effective are these policies to we the youth who are supposed to benefit from those policies? Like an example of the National Employment Policy, it doesn't seal the minimum wage. I remember my first job, I applied at a law firm. I was being hired to only earn 250,000. I've been doing a course whereby each semester I'm paying 1.8 million. And here I am, the first opportunity I get out of campus is 250.
Your time is over, Honourable Member. Are you studying the right courses at university, at secondary school?
Thank you, Honourable.
Or you are barely putting the blame on government for nothing?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I am one of those ones who are privileged to go to good schools and study science at both O-level, A-level, and even university level. So by what this government describes as good courses, I studied one of the best courses.
Which course was that?
Bachelor of Science in Ethnobotany. I can conserve, I can produce products, I have many skills I have on my hands. But where do I apply them? Nowhere. But before we go into that, what I studied as an individual, I have to say that arts courses are studied in this country because of the way that our education system is. There are students who are finishing Makerere University, Chambogo University. Of recently we discovered that the sciences that the president of this country has said are the source that will redeem this country. That the Chambogo University in the Faculty of Agriculture do not have even a single tractor working. A single tractor working at the whole institution like Chambogo University. We found out that one out. Therefore, there is no way this government can continue telling us that actually we have sciences when they are not investing in them. The other thing I have to say is that the students and pupils who study from primary UP schools can never study science at A level. Reason: such a kid who gets 20 aggregates at the end of primary 7 will not access the services that he would do. Access services at Gayaza, where people can study sciences. Therefore, by default, that kid will go to a school, which school will only be teaching arts, because that school does not even own a test tube. There are senior 4 students in this country who see test tubes as they go for UNEB exams. Such students can never be science students. The other point I have to make about sciences is that the science students they are producing, the only innovative ones are those ones who want to be, who make an extra thing onto themselves. Because for me in class...
Thank you, Honorable Member, your time is out. But before we blame government, there are courses that you people can use to create jobs. As you are aware, the president of this country and very many political leaders have told you, don't look for jobs, create jobs. If you take an agriculture course, can't you create your own jobs? Can't you start businesses? Why are you looking 100% to government to find for you jobs? Yes, Honorable Member. Can't you create your own job? Procedure.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just request that we are here not to give, to show how we can speak. I think we are here to make a point.
Exactly.
I just request that you add 1 minute on the 3, such that people can deliberate for 4 minutes.
The rule of this house is 3 minutes are enough for you to make your point. Please take your seat. Can you have the podium, please? Make your point.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Honorable Mugisha Dixon, former Guild Speaker, Busitema University.
Surprisingly, we have only students in this debate.
Former Guild Speaker.
So you are all unemployed?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I finished my bachelor's in agroforestry. I went to NFA. I was given a job for 150. At campus, I was paying 1.8.
So that means you people are rejecting jobs because the money is not enough?
I'm coming to the point. I'm coming to the point. Then after, I decided to go out to start my own businesses.
You dropped a job?
Yeah.
You went out to look for...
To start my own business.
That was a great venture.
On starting it, after a while, I started what we call nursery bed tree plantings. For a while, KCC came, plus the NFA members, they told me I don't have certificate to start out that business. Therefore, it was demolished. I went back on the street. I started looking for the job. Up to now, I'm not employed. It's a blame to the government.
That means you did not use the right procedures to start your business? Because when you start a business, you have to have the necessary documents.
They were requesting from me to pay the certificate or a tax of 1.8.
Is it wrong to pay taxes?
But does I have the money? I was just starting. Allowed
information.
Madam, I put the blame on the government because if it can subsidize the foreigners and fail to subsidize the one within our home country, so I really blame the country.
Thank you. Please, be precise to the point.
Thank you,
Are you
Right Honorable
studying
Speaker.
wrong courses?
Thank you, Honorable Right Speaker. I'm Honorable Seruma Kenneth, studying electrical engineering, third year. You are asking me whether electrical engineering is a wrong course. Let me give you the answer.
Please.
I will begin by quoting some words, a few statements that were made by our president as he was coming into power. He said that the problems of Africa and Uganda in particular are caused by leaders who overstay in power, which breeds impunity. I'm coming to your...
The topic is different from staying in
I'm
power.
coming. It breeds impunity,
can I have a
corruption.
review of the podium? Please, you are out of order.
The youth today are having problems with the education system. The education system, please, let me first complete my point. Thank you very much, Honorables. Yeah, I was saying that the corruption that is eating up the entire government system is actually demoralizing the spirit of the youths. When you go to the university, you will find the youth sleeping in their halls, watching football. Their spirit is broken. Why? They do not have that hope that after studying they are going to get these employments. So as you are looking at the type of courses studied by the youths, you also look at the spirit of the youths studying these courses. Are they motivated or not?
So how do you want to be motivated?
So
how do you want to be motivated?
Look at where we are staying. We are in Africa, not Europe. And the entire education system was built basing on the United Kingdom's system. We are in Africa. That's why it's failing to get application here in Africa. We should find a way. Of course, I might not have the way right now, but we should find a way as Africans of promoting an education system which promotes African products and services. You get? Because at the end of it all, the electrical engineering I'm studying will be applied in Africa for the greatest benefit of my people and of my continent.
Point of information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to add something to my colleague, that the issue of people doing what they call wrong courses, the issue of courses is designed by the national curriculum, by National Council for Education. That is a national body. So its role would always be to review, in touch with the Ministry of Labor and Education, to see what do we really need. So there are no wrong courses as for now. If they feel they are wrong, it is not, on the side of the student to go and accuse this is wrong or this is right. If the food is wrong, let it be put off the menu. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Can you take podium? Thank you, Honorable Members. We have to go for a break now. And when we return, we shall be discussing the schemes that have been provided by government to enable the youth create their own jobs. We have the livelihood project, where you can go borrow money and start a business if you have not found a job. So what are the challenges facing those schemes? Welcome back. You are still watching NTV People's Parliament, a platform where you're given an opportunity to have a say on matters that are affecting your life. When we went for a break, we are discussing the schemes, the government schemes that have been in place to enable you borrow money and start your own jobs. Are you utilizing those schemes? Have you taken an advantage to go and ask for money to start up a business, or you're just blaming government?
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Speaker, Madam, the House at large. Looking at the topic, is government responsible for providing jobs for each and every individual or each and every citizen? I totally disagree with that topic, because it's not the work of the government to provide for you a job. It's your work as a citizen to look for that job.
Why don't you clap for that honorable member, for instance? Order in the house, order. Go ahead with your point, please.
I want to say this as an individual who is an intellectual, not as someone who is opposing for the good of others. The fact is, our government is a government who cares for the people and is doing right for the people. The fact is that we individuals, we have failed to recognize the fact that we are part of the government.
Who has the point of order? take the microphone and have a minute.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Is it in order for the Honorable Member to come and lie to us what we know and what we've seen in the Constitution of Uganda?
I think the Honorable Member is giving you tips on how to get jobs and not look onto government. Go ahead with your information.
As an economist, I want to stand and say the unemployment rate of Uganda is standing at 4.2%. Now, the 4.2 caters for many things. You'll have to look at the causes of unemployment in this country. First of all, there is what we call natural unemployment. Now, Uganda is a rural country which is developing. An LDC, if I might take you through the process.
Can you go on the podium and bring the member to order?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Is the honorable member on the podium in order to insinuate that the unemployment rate is 4.2%, yet National Bureau of Standard of
Where
Statistics,
are you getting your statistics
the one
from?
we invest in to do some research
Let him
for the
tell us
government
where he
says
got
it
his
is
statistics
84.
from, please.
Thank you so much. I want us to be informed. The 4.2% was in 2010. 2010. Now, I'm using that one of 2010. No, wait, excuse me.
Please, take your point.
I want to agree with these members that Uganda has just carried out.
Order, honorable members, order. Can you give a honorable member to make his points, please?
I want to believe with everyone, I want to reason out with everyone that the government has just carried out census. Now, if you come with any figure which is not properly approved by that, I don't know where your source is, but this is from you, boss, directly. Now, my point goes, we have youth in this country who are frustrated. We have been hearing people come up and say 150 is not enough. I, for one, have studied most of the rich individuals in the world. They started from scratch. You can't tell me you want to start coming out of a university and start getting 1.2 million, 5 million.
You have half a minute to complete your point, please. The House is proceeding well, honorable member. Go ahead.
I want to declare that I'm also an opposition, but the fact remains that even though I'm opposing this government, does not mean that I should look at only the bad things. I need to give credit where it's due. And I want to say that if all of us are in the system, if all of us are working for the good of this country.
You are out of time, honorable member. Yes, honorable member. Are you the youth taking the advantage of the projects provided by government to create jobs?
Honorable Sewava Joseph. Is the government responsible for finding jobs for the youth in Uganda? Now, this is your government. This is the government over the people, for the people, by the people. Wait. The government is doing its best. What is our responsibility as the government, and what is your responsibility? The responsibility of the government, one, is to create the environment. The government has already identified sectors. As you go to school, the sectors of jobs we have in the country.
What are those sectors?
One, we have agriculture. Two, two, industries. As you go to school, as you make choices for your degree and anything, you have to see, do I want to participate in agriculture, ICT, and social services? Somebody was talking about, one honorable member was talking about.
You have 1 minute to finish your points, please.
Okay. So people should give me some time. One honorable member was talking about that he's a graduate in science. You come, if you have your CV, you're going to get a job right away from here.
Where should we go?
Right now, you give me your right now. I'm going to, the jobs. If you wait.
Order,
the government had to do the following. How many universities do we have? Before the government...
Can you allow the honorable member to make his points, please,
Somebody was talking about Libya. Somebody was talking about Libya and everything. When the government came in power, it had to identify what are the problems. Education. We didn't have education. Now we are talking about skilling Uganda. After education, you need to have skills. The government is doing that. Today I want to tell you.
Your time is out, honorable member. I want only two members to summarize. What should government do Please, can you summarize?
Yeah, from my view, I think the government has done something. All of you have been arguing and stipulating it that it's the government's role to provide employment. The government has done that. It has exempted foreigners, those foreign investors, from taxes. You well know investors, foreign investors, are the most people who create jobs in Uganda. The government of Uganda,
Isn't that
yes.
right?
No.
Proceed. Order, honorable members.
The government strategies have been limited by we Ugandans. The government puts up, do you know that we have institutions? But how many of you went through institutions? You all opted for universities and did social sciences. What were you supposed to become after your social sciences? Institution, the way to institution is the only road where a person can come and create a job. And regarding the fertility rate of Uganda, we expect that the population is steadily growing. So that means, much as the strategy is there, but there is a growing rate of population. So as job seekers, we who started to become job seekers knew that we had to become that. We went through that and not institutions. The government put up NADS, and instead of we using NADS, yes, the NADS program, our fathers, information not granted.
So, honorable members, can we have order in
our
the
fathers
house?
who work in NADS, our sisters, our mothers, when they get those things they are supposed to give to people to develop themselves, they hide them to themselves and their family members. Hasn't the government done? It has done, it has provided for
Your
NADS.
point is made, honorable member. Can you summarize, please?
The government has done and we have failed it.
Thank you. Please take on the podium 2 minutes to summarize your point, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Moses from Chambogo University, and the main reason that's why I'm here is because I know that there are higher chances.
Order in the house, honorable members. Let's respect ourselves as honorable members of NTV People's Parliament, all right?
Is that basing on the fact that there are over 80% of youth unemployment, is that I see high chances of me getting out of the university and I become unemployed. That's why I'm here. Secondly, trust me, honorable members, this government has done nothing, completely nothing to bring on employments for the youth. In a way that, honorable Speaker, you say that we have prioritized that agriculture is the most sector. And we say that it's the backbone of our economy.
But honorable members have said you are rejecting some of the jobs because the salary is too little for you.
No.
For heaven's sake.
Excuse me. What kind of changes have we brought on board to see that agriculture is improved? We are exporting raw materials outside. We sell coffee at 2,000 and we export a coffee cafe here. And we buy at 5K. How much is that? Have we built up industries to process coffee?
Yes, honorable members, as we wind up this show, we want to look forward for the solutions. If government has not provided jobs for the youth, should we sit back and wait, or should we do something? So what are the solutions to bring down the employment rates in this country? Please, honorable member, can you give solutions, strictly solutions to these unemployment rates in the country?
Oh, thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to outline some of the solutions we believe can be helpful. One, we believe we must change, we must redesign our economic policy, our employment policy, to be able to catch up with the time, because we kind of have an employment policy that is not really in favor of our people. Secondly, they are talking about the education system, as you said. They must redesign, National Curriculum Center should redesign the educational policy so that it suits
wonderful point.
The environment that we are in today, so that the kind of jobs that are there are suited. Then second, the other thing that we
can't you clap for those solutions,
in serious countries, there are always those refresher courses, because some of the youth here, they spend around 5 years without employment. So when that person goes to do the kind of job, he no longer remembers what he did at university. They should have those around 3 months free courses so that you are refreshed. Then second, the other thing that we should look at, like our foreign policy. we have had countries, like the Americans, this is what they call the American interest. There was a time when they were supposed to go to Libya, and the defense secretary was asking, what is our interest in Libya? Their interest is the American people. We've had a situation whereby we helped the South Africans when they were fighting for their liberation, ANC. But government never negotiated. When a Ugandan is going to South Africa, you pay for a visa. The Kenyans do not pay for a visa. When you go to Southern Sudan, when you went and helped the Southern Sudanese government, the Kenyans negotiated. They only had one conference to solve the conflict. But Kenyan people are the people who work in the civil service of what? Of Southern Sudan. So what we do is, if we are designing our economic policy, we should make sure that if you're like, we are going to Somalia, you must make sure that if we finish helping you in the war, this so much people should be doing, should be working there. So in such a situation, you'll be able to see that we create money. With lastly, I want to talk about what he was talking about. He's talking about the NAMUKASA thing. When you don't have storage facilities, you don't have known prices. If you're looking about, people used to have their cooperatives, which would help them to have a bargaining power. You cannot bargain for prices when a single block. Then at the end of the day, we shall roll up and we see employment coming to this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this kind of opportunity.
Summary, what are the solutions?
One is that the government should bring in more industries. In addition to that, let the government not only use these investors, because I believe that experts are within us. We have skills. Thank you so much.
I think our government should ensure there are equal opportunities in the employment sector. Let it not be technical know who knows you, who knows this one. That one cannot work. Government should ensure there is an employment benefit and compensation for the unemployed. Government should also ensure that those who are in offices past their age of sale retire, so that they give an opportunity to young people also get jobs.
What they should do, at least I should provide some direction for them. One, they should re-establish cooperative societies. According to the information I have, cooperative societies used to employ over 7 million Ugandans, and they were done away with in 1992. They are no more. I'm suggesting if government can take that path, we can create more jobs for the youths. Two, let government nationalize its former parastatals like Uganda Electricity Board, Uganda Airlines, which government officials today sold it to themselves. They can nationalize those ones and give employment to the youth, because their aim was not only making profits, but for the betterment of the nationals, providing services, and again, creating employment for the nationals. That was done away with. We request that the government does that. Another point, I think government should enact employment policy. We don't have employment policy in Uganda. We don't have minimum wages. We think government should come up with such that to remedy the situation.
We have come to the end of this show. Because of time constraints, honorable members, we cannot proceed this time. I thank you so much for coming to participate in this show, and I hope the policymakers in the executive, members of parliament, and those who have companies have heard the people's voices. And I hope you listen to them and find the solution to the employment rates in Uganda. I am still Agnes Nandutu, the Speaker of People's Parliament. I adjourn this house until next time.